is the current war, is a clash of civilizations inevitable into the future between Islam and the West?
Yes. Sure. Yeah. Let me put it like this. Some people say, in fact, there's recently been what's, I think, preposterously called a national intelligence estimate about this. Estimate is certainly the right word. It's not in any sense a finding. It's a piece of subjective impression mongering, but anyway, the finding or the whatever the word I'm looking for, the estimate is that a great number of Muslims are annoyed by our policy, and that thus, and violently so, and thus we are, to a certain extent, a word I also distrust, less safe. Quite how safety is measured in this, or by what means it's estimated, is quite beyond me. I mean, it seems to me, if one asks a question like, does going to war make one more safe? One asks a question that is flat out incoherent, and will elicit, if asked, stupid answers, which is what we have been getting from our intelligence community, in any case, for the last 2 or 3 decades. However, let's say, all right, we should take care not to make enemies. Well, what care would we have to take? Let me give you the instance of Denmark. Small northern European democracy, multicultural, open-hearted, large immigrant population, no history of imperialism in the Middle East, spends most of its diplomatic efforts and money in the region on helping the Palestinians, has its embassies burned, its diplomatic immunity violated, in countries, by the way, in the capital cities of dictatorships that normally don't allow demonstrations of any kind. Danish embassies are put to the torch. Random Danes and other Scandinavians who might look Danish are hunted down in the streets and killed. Danish diplomats are violated. A conscious, very well organized attempt, supported by several leading Arab governments, is made by sanctions and boycotts to destroy the quite vulnerable Danish economy, and so on. And what is the ground of grievance here? That the Prime Minister of Denmark will not break Danish law by intervening to stop the publication of cartoons in an evening paper in Copenhagen. Now, that's all it takes to make enemies, you understand. And it seems to me that people who say let's not make enemies under these conditions are being flat out masochistic. Sure, we can avoid their ire, just as long as we're willing to destroy everything that makes our society different from theirs. Well, I'm not ready to do that. I'd rather fight it out, if it takes all my life. Okay? And I'll tell you how we'll know, which is when they start asking themselves, was it wise of us to piss off the Americans? Have we made too many American enemies? Have we stirred up the American street? That's what I want to hear them discussing. And I want to hear them discussing, can we go on taking these casualties? Because the Americans, we don't boast about it. But your fellow countrymen and mine are killing these people at the rate of hundreds a week, and willing to go on killing them at a higher rate, I hope. And at some point, they have to ask themselves, can we take it? That's the estimate I want to hear being made. I don't want to hear all this drivelling lamentation, where we've hardly started the business of training an army that knows how to fight these people and to defend our civilization in the most tough conditions of rogue and failed states. So, I have very little doubt of what Mr. Jefferson would say about that, but I don't feel I have the right to ventriloquize him on my side. Quite happy to speak for myself on the point.